Greetings, citizens of Tetris, and welcome to 2025. It is I, Van Dweller, and you know, they said every doctor I've ever talked to would be very surprised to learn I've lived to the year 2025. Amazing. So, very grateful that it is a new year. We've turned the page on 2024, and I'm sure 2025 is just going to be uninterrupted joy, 12 months all the way through. Amazing. Anyway, we are back. Yes, we did not do anything in December. November is where we left it. But now we're back in January 2025 with some, Classic Tetris Monthly Masters event. And we have, we've messed with the format a little bit. We have stolen the format from DAS Masters, the 32-player flat bracket, and we have applied it to our Masters event. So it's like 2021 Mega Masters every single month. Amazing. Let's take a look at the overall bracket so you see what I mean. All right, just read all that. That's readable, right? You can read that. That's perfectly readable. But yes, it is a 32-player flat bracket. Don't worry about what does flat bracket mean. Don't worry about it. It's better, it's good, it works, and we love it. So the way that this is going to happen, we have 8 preliminary feeder mini brackets that feed into the ultimate top 16. And today we are doing 2 of those little mini brackets. Right now we're going to do a little 2-match mini bracket. And that is going to be the top one up here. It's going to be match number 3 and match number 11. So basically, it's a 6-round tournament. And basically, the people who would have finished in challengers are going to face off against each other in round 1. And then the winners of those brackets will face off against the 9th through 16th seeds that would have otherwise been automatically in the old 16-player Masters event. They have to defend their spots against these challengers players. So that is how it's going to work. So we've got match number 3 and match number 11 during this broadcast, and the winner of that will ultimately play Alex T. All right. So the top 8 overall in qualifiers, which I can show you actually, the top 8, they get an automatic 2-round bye. The 9th through 16th get a 1-round bye, and then all those people on the right have to play against each other to see who will end up in the ultimate round of 16. So don't worry about it. But yes, Suds in chat is right. There's a major incentive to qualify high, so this is going to put some additional value on actually getting a good qualifier, because you could skip the first 2 rounds, these preliminary rounds. Anyway, if you want to know all the details about it, go to Discord. We'll explain it to you. But otherwise, don't worry about it. Just sit back and enjoy Tetris. So today, 12:30, we've got IBALL versus AKATU, the winner versus DANV. Now, coming up later at, it's 12:30 Texas time. Coming up at 2, it's single elimination. Coming up at 2:30, so 2 hours from now, we will have another mini bracket for you, and that's going to be the bottom bracket down here, match 8 numbers and number 16, with Doozy K versus Andre, and the winner taking on Dangler. And so all these preliminary brackets are going to be done by the 12th of the month, and then we will start the top 16 basically as soon as we can get top 16 brackets started. And this will the one at 2:30, that'll feed into the one that faces Neko in the top 16. So that is the order of operations today. First off, yes, the blue bracket, IBALL versus AKATU. The winner takes on DANV for a spot in the top 16. Let's take a look at our rules so we know what we're even playing. Yes, this is a 32-player single elimination flat bracket tournament based on the 1989 version of Tetris released by Nintendo for the Nintendo Entertainment System on NTSC consoles. Players can play on emulator or console so long as the game mechanics, appearance, and statistics are unmodified, except in the way that we ask players to modify them. Players can use any controller so long as there's no big buttons or no turbo functions used, you're actually going to see that because one of our players is a keyboard player. So keyboard players back in Masters. Crazy. Players should not receive any real-time advice. Nobody in your ear or in the room telling you about your opponent's board state or how you should be playing or anything like that. One mind per game, one game per mind. That is it. Do not pause unless the commentator tells you. And I'm the commentator, so don't pause unless I say so. Level 18 starts all the way through the Masters event. Level 39 is Super Kill Screen. Players, make sure you turn your level 39 Super Kill Screen on. And we will be using same P sets re-rolled in between each game of the match. Points over the traditional max out do count, best of 5 throughout, and the winner gets absolutely something, which is a share in a prize pool which currently stands at $3.25. So wow, these players are going to split up this huge purse. And I don't know, life-changing money here, $3.25. Now, if you want that to be more than $3.25, and you have the power to do something about it. First of all, if you're watching live, use the Matcherino command in chat. That'll bring up the links, right? The first one goes to Masters, right? The tournament you're watching right now. Click on that, and it will bring you to the landing page for the tournament. You'll have to log in. It's 2 clicks. It's super easy. Over on the right side, you'll see 2 ways to contribute. One is a button that says contribute, and that is where you can use straight cash, homie. I think you get how that works. And on the right below that, it says claim code to contribute. Matcherino, our partner, wants us to test us every single month to see, oh, can we send people to a web page and get them to click a button? 50 people? Yeah, we can do that. So get on over to that page, log in. It's a 2-click login. It's easy. You already have an account. If you have a Twitch or YouTube account, you're logged in, click claim code. While you're there, consider contributing straight cash, homie. So you don't need a code. It's literally just a button that you click. You don't need to obtain the codes. You just go there. I don't know why it says claim code. It should just be click this button, but that's what it is. There's nothing special you need to do. All right. Thanks to those of you who have contributed. Now, one thing you also need to know is that we have incentives. Now, if we, by default, we're going to pay the top 4. First, they'll get 50% of the prize pool. Second, get 30%. Third and fourth each get 10%. But if we get to our $2,000 monthly incentive, we will pay the top 8. The top 8 will be paid, and that's what you want to do. It's very nice for the players to be able to get to the top 8 and get themselves a prize. So please do contribute to the prize pool if you can, because the prize pool is the #1 thing that that gets people, that makes these players want to keep playing every single month, right? 1 month they might be maybe I'll take a month off. I mean, it's good to take a month off, but they put in the time to practice, and they should be compensated for it. And they're putting on these great playing these great matches for your and my entertainment. So it's good for them to have a little incentive to do that. Thank you to Gilded Lizard for the $10 contribution already to kick us off. Appreciate that. Do continue to contribute those claim codes. Also, if you do want to support the channel, you've got all kinds of options to do that on Twitch. You've got bits and subs and prime subs and all this other stuff. On YouTube, you've got super chats and stickers and all that kind of stuff. So if you're hanging out in the chat, do consider to do that. And if you want to do the best thing you can do, go to patreon.com/monthlytetris and support us on Patreon. And I want to thank those of you who are already supporting us on Patreon, including Scott Gray 76, K9 Watching Tetris, and Tacnerus, Corporal 381, Shall Be Satisfied, Cat 91, Jay in the Window, Troy Dan, Kim S, as well as our sticker and double sticker club level members and community level members. And I owe some people some stickers. I'm a little bit behind, but I will make good on that. Okay, so yes, patreon.com/monthlytetris if you want to support the channel. And why wouldn't you, right? Why wouldn't you want to do that? All right, let's check on our players and see how they're doing. Look at AKATU with the rolling there. I mean, look at that. Look at this. Keyboard rolling. Didn't fix the slide. Oh, I actually did fix the slide, but I forgot to put it in the mix. I'll get it. Don't worry about it, Joe. All right. Anyway, yes, you can see keyboard rolling. Pretty exciting. All right. Probably should move one of these players over a little bit, and then we can get started. And AKATU wearing all black, right? So you can't see black hands on a black keyboard. So that way, you know, you don't know exactly what he's doing, right? He doesn't want to give away his secrets. All right, let's go ahead. I'm actually refresh these cameras. In the meantime, I'll give these players their pieces. Oh, it says finals. Yeah, it's already the finals, guys. There we go. Now let's refresh these streams and make sure that we are good. Tetrim with the raid, party of 28, thank you. And Peter Lustig, thanks for the prime resub, appreciate that. Peter Lustig says, love that bracket increase, Heart Bear, appreciate that. Real Bland with the prime resub as well. And Chroma with the 15 minutes ago resub says, happy new year CTM, year of 2025. Guild the Lizard with the tier 1 resub, 12 months, thank you. Says, good fun, have luck, we will. Madelsberger, where does Vandy get such quick shipping for sending the players their pieces? Yeah, CTM Prime. Pieces are E05E35, E05E35. Oh, man. Random says, just claim my code to the match. Reno, thank you, Random, with Titan. All right, looks like both players are on the seed. We can whisk the seed checker away. All right, both players are ready. IBALL and AKATU are ready to kick off January 2025 in the blue bracket preliminary A. Let's go, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. On the left side, it is IBALL coming in at seed number 20 out of Canada with a PB of 3.6 million. IBALL has a couple of semi-final finishes in CTM in 2024, so it has yet to reach the finals. Looking to do that. And a little bit of a save here for IBALL, because IBALL finished in seed 20, would not have otherwise made it into the Masters event or had a shot at it. But now with the new format, both the players on screen get a chance to sort of redeem themselves. Players can survive a little bit of a bad qualifier and still make it into a tournament that they otherwise, maybe deserve to be in. So IBALL certainly in the category of that. So IBALL on that left side, 92,000. He was the runner-up in Montreal CTWC Regional. That was a good time. I was there. On the right side, seed number 29 out of Finland with a PB, according to the leaderboard, of 1.64 million. And a keyboard roller, AKATU. So that is not something that we really see all that often here in Masters. Keyboard players generally, for a long time, have not made it into Masters. So we'll see if AKATU can advance a couple of rounds here and win one for the keyboard players. 106 for AKATU, 153 for IBALL. IBALL trying to dig out of a little bit of a situation here early in game number 1 of this 5-game match. Yes, the new format, 32 players, but it's not a 32-player typical format. It is a flat brackets. For details, if you want to go to the Discord, you can go there and ask about it. But basically, all of the challengers players, the players who finish, in the qualifying 17 through 32, they play each other rather than having like a really lopsided, what it usually is a 1 and 32 or a 2 and 31 matchup. A lot of matches like with that kind of configuration can be lopsided. So here, these challengers players who otherwise would have, finished in challengers or played in challengers, fight it out against each other to see who's worthy to make it into masters. In the past, we had, one challengers winner, just the one winner make it into masters. And now there's a potential for 8 of these players to make it in. So we'll see what happens. 302 IBALL, 277 for AKATU. That also means the higher seed players, the players who finish in the top 8 in qualifying, get an automatic berth into the top 16, and the 9th through 16th players have to fight the winners out of these early rounds to earn their spot into the top 16 rounds. 326 for AKATU, 370 for IBALL. We've been using this format the last few months in our DAS Masters event. I liked it. It worked. And, there are players who might otherwise have made a challengers who are masters-worthy players, players like IBALL and Huffaluffagus, who finished below the fold, 17 through 32. So they're getting a shot to sort of redeem themselves and earn their way back in. 420 here for IBALL, 395 for AKATU. So just about a 1 Tetris lead. Tetris is here worth 22,800. All right, IBALL setting up the Vilts and getting the L. $466 IBALL, 403 Tetris IBALL. We got a lot of AKATU fans in chat trying to win one for keyboard rolling. Of course, this does mean that AKATU is on emulator. So we flew out a team, the CTM investigation team, to certify AKATU's setup. It is legit and good. Yep, the AKATU knows it was stressful, but he made it through. Double flip there for IBALL. That's going to complicate things on that left side, but he did have an open well for a Tetris and got the bar to bring that down. And IBALL into 19, 543. A little bit of an awkward board, covered well. Going to uncover here with Love a Quick Bar. AKATU is in at 507. Tetris for IBALL, 570, and another one for 595 into level 20. All right, long bar down for each. 533 AKATU, 621 for IBALL. The other thing I like about this format is that we get to sort of diversify the tournament in terms of where people are located, right? Canada, my God, the foreign land of Canada. We never see anyone from Canada, so very exotic, as well as Finland. So good to have more international players in the fold. 662 for IBALL, 549 for AKATU. IBALL with about 120,000 point lead, but AKATU with a clean board. IBALL not. It should clear down. He might be able to build up for a dirty Tetris here. See what he's going to do. Yeah, that is the plan. And he's going to skim away that J on the left side and get a dirty Tetris. 705. He's ahead by 65,000. The winner of this will take on DANV. DANV waiting in the wings. We don't actually have wings because we're online. 743 for IBALL, Tetris for him, 697 for AKATU. IBALL really kind of jumped a level, I think, this year with strong showings in Montreal. Coming in second there, a couple of semifinal placements in CTM Masters this year. So looking to earn his way back. Have another shot at a finals. Tetris IBALL 882. Remember, we do have a level 39 super kill screen. We start on level 18, 130 lines of that. Level 19 speed increase, 100 lines of that. And then 100 lines of the 29 speed. That is the terminal velocity for this tournament. And 39 basically speeds up so fast that really nobody can play it. So we'll see what players can do here. 990 for IBALL, 811 for AKATU. People continuing to redeem those codes over on Matcherino. Thank you for doing that. All right, AKATU into 29. IBALL here. He's got a max out. Long bar over at Tetris for IBALL. So we'll see what AKATU can do here post 29. He's got a PB of 1.64 million, so clearly can play 29 speed. You're not getting to 1.64 without being able to play on this speed. Oh no, that left side for IBALL, kind of a mess. We'll see what he can do. Oh, and he gets a bar over. He's trying to eke out whatever points he can, gets another one. So he's going to top out at A99. So the target for AKATU is B00. B00 is the target. He's got about 70 lines to work with. It's be about 180,000 point chase down, and you know, kind of an old sentiment in Tetris is that one of the most distracting things that your opponent can do is top out. So we'll see if AKATU can stay with this and chase this down. He's got the room to do it. Long bar over, okay. Setting up for a Tetris here. And a Z flat right in the middle. That's going to burn away Tetris for AKATU, 998. So he's now 100,000 points away. That left side. Oh, and he gets the bar over. Okay, so board's starting to climb a little bit. And no, that left side. Well, we'll see. Oh, and he gets a bar over. How could he bring this down? Okay, IBALL says, I'm good, and he is good. AKATU can't chase it down, but makes a valiant effort, gets the max out here in game number 1. GG's to both of our players. And I gotta remember how my scene works. It's been like a month since I did anything here. Okay, yeah, so there's the game for IBALL. All right, let's get these players some new pieces. Danny says, didn't realize how much I missed Vandy commentating. Oh, wow. Well, you know, it's very strong, very brave of you to take such a strong, controversial minority viewpoint. Appreciate that, Danny. Sonic the Screw with the tier 1, 3 months. Thank you, Sonic. Says, woohoo. All right, new pieces are here. Thanks for the pin deck. D860AC. I'm gonna refresh both of our players. They, you know, they can take a moment. That's fine. Oh my God. Tetris out here catching strays. Cousin Avi with a tier 1 gift sub to IBALL. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Avi. Let's refresh both these players, make sure that they are good. You know, when I take a break here, it's always like, I have to remember exactly what I have to do. So it wouldn't be surprised me if some like major part of this stream like isn't fixed right. So I'm surprised that everything is working so far. D860AC. D860AC. Oh, people want to know what keyboard is being used. You can ask them afterward. All right. Looks like both players are ready and on seed. Let's get them started in game number 2. AKATU looking to tie this one up. 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Tetris IBALL 22,800. AKATU gonna get one as well. Now I don't have a record of AKATU because you know, not every single player gets into, I guess, the Liquipedia that I use as my primary source of data here. So I don't have a match history for these two. IBALL usually likes to be distracted. IBALL, have you played AKATU before? Just nod yes if you've played him before. All right, yes, says thumbs up. No, okay, so these two players have never played against each other. Thank you for confirming. And yeah, you don't have to take your hand off the controller. You know, you can nod. Oh my God, what are you doing? All right, I'm never mentioning anything again. Look at this guy playing with one hand. 117 here for IBALL. He's going to get a Tetris. 140, 118 for AKATU. And there's a Tetris. So they are tied. Danny says that's why we shouldn't have level 19 starts. Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, that's a good reminder to let you know. If you do not know, next month is Faster Masters. And we have so Faster Masters, if you don't know, is a tournament that's played on 19 and 29 only. And in previous years, we had a level 39 super kill screen, which means it was really just 200 lines. But I've decided to tweak that format and add a level 49 super kill screen to Faster Masters. It ends up being still overall faster than typical Masters because you play 100 lines on 19 and 200 on 29, as opposed to 330 lines split across 18, 19, and 29. But it does allow, I don't know, the previous years seem to be a bit of a crapshoot and almost kind of not fun. And so this year we want to bring a little more skill into it. So we've got 200 lines of 29 speed and, oh, perfect clear from IBALL. 200 lines of 29 speed with 100 lines of that speed leading the way. So I don't know, I think it should be a good format. We're going to try it out. And that's going to be in Masters with the flat bracket format, which is probably here to stay. 313 for AKATU, 372 for IBALL. Kingsman is here. Says, Vanley, don't you know one-handed Tetris playing is all the rage these days? I don't want to know. All right, AKATU with a Tetris. There is one for IBALL. One line apart. AKATU back by, I don't know, about 57,000 points or whatever. I can't do math right now. All right, so about a 41,000 point lead. Long bar's over for both. Tetris is over for both. Alex Lang says, just a question, why are the cameras muted in CTM and so low quality? The players are at home. They're not in the same location. So if you're volunteering to buy them some high quality cameras and an upgraded internet, I'm sure they'll take it. $541 for IBALL, $501 for AKATU. And they're coming from, you know, exotic lands, right? They're being streamed from exotic lands like Canada and Finland. $610 here for IBALL, 8 lines away from that 19 transition. And a good transition pace here for AKATU as well at 571. All right, AKATU going to take a nice safe triple into 19, still leaving himself a Tetris setup. IBALL not settling though, going to get that Tetris into 19. 658 transition. The players same lines and separated by about 70 or what, 60 something thousand points, whatever. Just a few Tetrises separating them. 716 IBALL, 635 AKATU. What do those numbers, 21 and 53? Those are their PBs ranking on the PB leaderboard. So IBALL is number 21 on the overall PB leaderboard, personal best score. Tetris IBALL 796, 674 for AKATU. I'm gonna try to find a way, clear that away. Okay, he's opened up that right side, takes a skim here. Now needs a couple of bars here, does have to cover. Someone says, wait, no prediction today. Yeah, I don't really manage a prediction, so usually I just let moderators do it. Tetris IBALL 882. He's up almost 200,000 points. 20 Dan 03 with the tier 1 sub, 44 months. Thank you, Dan Guafi, with the tier 1 sub, 1 year, 1 month. Appreciate that. Tetris IBALL 943. There's ones for AKATU 729. We're just 50 lines away from that level 29 speed increase. Tetris AKATU 765. Oh, that T on that left side for IBALL. Gonna slow him down a bit. He's got a good lead here though, so he can afford to take a few burns and clean this up. All right, he's got kind of a left side tuck situation. He's going to resolve that. He's just going to get a long bar down and clear this away. People continuing to redeem codes. Thank you very much for that. Max out for IBALL on 27. 836 for AKATU. He's now into level 27. There's a Tetris from AKATU. He's got that kind of lazy T-spin set up and just kind of tucks it in there. I always do that as a T-spin. I don't know. I really shouldn't, but he's just going to do the right thing and like tuck it in. 18 for IBALL, 3 lines away from the 29 speed increase. And IBALL is into 29 at B23, trying to bring this down. Takes a couple of triples to do that, but getting drowned, gets a bar over for another triple. What can he do? No, it's gonna be a hang on that left side. And that's gonna be a top out at B44 for IBALL. There's a chase down target for AKATU at B45. So he needs about 115,000 points. He's got 85 lines to do it. He can really take his time to do this if he chooses, but tough board here to recover from. See if he can bring this down. Oh no, that left side is gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a top out for AKATU in game number 2. And IBALL will hang on to take a 2-0 lead. Brian with the Prime sub, 11 months. Thank you very much for that. Xenon Blyett has gifted a tier 1 sub to Neko. Thank you, Xenon. Appreciate that. AKATU says, I'm really happy to max out with these nerves. Gen Bros with the tier 1 sub, 24 months. Thank you very much, Gen Bros. Good to have you. All right, let's get these players some pieces. AKATU, have you been in Masters? I'm sure you've been in Challengers, but have you been in anything called Masters before? I don't think so. I don't remember. Mega Masters. All right, well, does that count? All right, we'll count it. All right, get these players some new pieces. 2-8 DF F7. Gen Bros has gifted a tier 1 sub to the Classic Tetris monthly community, and it has been received by Simply Swiftness. Thank you very much, Gen Bros. Appreciate that. Zempro has resubscribed at tier 1, 30 months. Thank you so much. Zempro says a boba. We have achieved a level 2 hype train. Wow, I can't believe it. I never thought I would achieve it. 2-8 DF F7, 28 Delta Foxtrot Fox 7. Thanks again for the pin from Deck. All right, both players are ready. It's game 3. AKATU with an uphill climb starts with 1 step. He's going to have to win this one to stay in. Let's get him counted down in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Ninja of Ninjas with the tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. 22 months says Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year. It's already started off. You know. That's right. It can only get better, right? All right, AKATU's got to win 3 in a row, but just gonna focus on this game. You just got to take it a game at a time. You can't think about, oh well, how am I going to win this and 2 more and so forth? No, you just take it in stride, 1 at a time, brick by brick. I mean, all you got to do is just make the perfect decision on every piece every single time for an hour. That's not hard, is it? Are Masters and DAS Masters going to be best of 5 all the way through round 0 to the finals? Yes. DAS Masters, I think we're going to go best of 7 in the finals, potentially. I still got to think about that. 185 for IBALL, 163 for AKATU as we get underway here in game number 3. Laurel has gifted a subscription to the Classic Tetris Monthly community. Sharky, what do you think? Do you think you want best of 7 or no in the finals? So the problem I have is I just think quality goes down a little bit because, I don't know, you played a semifinal and then you wait and then you play another one, which is a best of 7. So I don't know. If we did separate semis and finals, I'd be willing to do it. I don't want to. I'm just becoming very sensitive to taxing these players, you know? I'll consult with Sharky, right? Tetris AKATU 259, 283 from IBALL. Cousin Avi has gifted a tier 1 sub to Jasmine. Thanks, Avi. If you want to get the support the channel, we do have subscriptions on Twitch, bits and subs and all that kind of stuff. Also on YouTube, we do have channel memberships. We've got super chats and stickers. So if you're watching on YouTube and you enjoy this whole thing, well, why don't you support it and make sure it continues to happen? That's not a bad thing to do. Sharky says best of 7 is exhausting. If I want best of 7, I'll play DCL. All right, Sharky has spoken, guys. Best of 5. Tetris IBALL 405, 376 for AKATU. AV Geek is proposing a scenario that involves ties. That will never happen, okay? This is America. We want a clear winner and a clear loser rather than 2 losers, okay? This is America. $447 for AKATU. $450 for IBALL. Oh, AV Geek did not suggest it. All right. For the record, AV Geek did not suggest it. Was merely explaining DAS Champions League. All right, 496 for AKATU, 521 for IBALL. Yeah, I don't know. From my understanding, they wanted to mimic like the soccer format or something like that. I guess. I don't know. I personally want to mimic a soccer tournament just as an end in itself. Like, I don't know. $527 IBALL, 12 lines away from that 19 transition, looking to clear this down. AKATU with a Tetris. He's ahead by 40,000 and another Tetris. There's a dirty Tetris IBALL 5 lines away. Just going to uncover that well. Not going to do anything crazy. Other Tetris for AKATU into 19 at 617. So the keyboard roller can hang here. Good transition. Score from AKATU, 580 transition from IBALL. Oh, quick adjustment there for IBALL. I mean, how do pieces even move that fast? I didn't even know they did. All right, IBALL getting some good pieces. Long bar over, Tetris IBALL, 634, 691 for AKATU. Another one for AKATU, 718, holding on to a 58,000 point lead when their lines are close. Tetris AKATU, 771. There's one IBALL. Level 21. Tetris AKATU 827. Tetris eyeball 801. See what AKATU's going to do here. Yes, going to take the dirty Tetris in as a great J there to tuck this in. To try and clear this away and get established quickly. Yeah, so minimal burns here from that situation from AKATU. Ends up having to take a triple here. 868, 805 for eyeball. So still about that same lead since transition. Long bar over Tetris eyeball 865. There's one AKATU 928. Frank Bryce with the Prime sub says Happy New Year's. Thank you, Frank. Or Bryce. Or both. Maybe it's one of those couples accounts, you know? Like people on YouTube, people on Facebook, you know, are like Bill and Donna Johnson. You know what I mean? Like, and they just combine their name together into one name. Bill and Donna. Max out here from AKATU. There's one from eyeball, and they are tied in score. AKATU with a couple Tetrises here, though. There's one from eyeball. When they are tied in lines, AKATU's about a Tetris and change ahead. So 1.1 here for AKATU, almost here one for eyeball. There's a long bar down for the Tetris and the 1.1 for eyeball. They're tied in lines. AKATU back by 5 lines. So AKATU with a pace lead. Tetris eyeball 1 line away from that 29 transition, where the speed will double. All right, AKATU trying to keep this contained here, just whatever's happening. Would love a easy long bar. Not going to get it immediately, but we'll be able to uncover that right side quickly. Yeah, going to take a couple long bars and just bring that right side down. And eyeball's board starting to climb a bit, holding out for the bar, not going to get it. C48 top out. So AKATU 7,000 points away. C49 is the target. It's going to have to go through a little bit of a sequence here to bring this down, and makes it. So AKATU is going to win game number 3 and extend this match. Zempro says AKATU's improvement in the last year is incredible. On the contrary, I find it credible. All right, so AKATU with a little bit of a mullen here. Going to top out at C74 1.2 for AKATU. GG. Excuse me. All right, let's go ahead and give these players some pieces. Eyeball gonna warm up a little here. All right, new pieces, incoming players, 239E34 Javanti. Thanks for the pin, appreciate that. 239 Echo 34. Eyeball says, my kill screen has been cooked for a week now. It's kind of weird. Line out time. Well, we'll see. Lemon says on YouTube, damn, how do you play 29 on keyboard? Well, you learn keyboard rolling. 239 E34. All right, step one in AKATU's comeback attempt completed. Oh, I should probably give him the point, right? Now needs to win 2 more. Let's get him started in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. IBALL looking to end it right here. Does not want to get into a reverse sweep situation after having gone up 2 games to none. All right, kind of a misflip there for IBALL. Going to try to recover. All right, getting droughted a little bit here early in game number 4. IBALL looking for a bar here. He's going to avoid taking the triple. Finally can't avoid it. He's just going to take a double and bring this down. And yeah, we're getting super droughted right now. Get out your trouts. It is a drought. What the heck? There is a long bar finally for a Tetris for IBALL. There's that long bar for AKATU as well. 76,000 for IBALL, 86,000 for AKATU. Guafi says he played along with the seed and topped out at 31,000. Oh my goodness. Guafi will be playing in this tournament. So you better figure out what you did wrong there, buddy. All right, some nifty little tuck setups there from IBALL 123. Long bar down, Tetris 145, 156 for AKATU. He's going to add a Tetris. And stay tuned. After this match, the winner will play DANV, a fan favorite, or at least one fan. It's her favorite. The rest of us, I don't know. No, he's good. 197 for IBALL, 228 for AKATU. All right, Summer B says I like DANV too. All right, at least 2 fans. Tetris AKATU 275, 223 IBALL. He's got a Tetris well set up. Cousin Avi has gifted a turn 1 sub to DANV Pants. Thank you, Cousin Avi. Appreciate that. Tetris AKATU 322, 293 for IBALL. Okay, both players Tetrising. AKATU up by 30,000 points. It's a little less than Tetris and a half or so. All right, the double tuck of the T for AKATU. See there, I do the spin tuck, so AKATU doing really everything the opposite of I would do it, which is probably why he's having success. It's probably the way to go. 460 AKATU, 408 for IBALL. Summer B with the tier 1 6 months in advance subscription. Thank you very much, Summer B. And using all the emotes. Tetris for both, 478, IBALL 528, AKATU just about 15 lines away from that 19 transition. AKATU flirting with another 600K transition if he can Tetris. Well, 2 Tetrises really from here and change. There's a long bar to fill out that left side. Now he's Tetris ready again. Ends up having to take a couple of burns here. 600K still on the table. 549 transition for IBALL. Long bar down, Tetris, AKATU, another 600K transition for the keyboard roller. There's a Tetris IBALL 601, 601 for AKATU, but AKATU's back by 10 lines. This is a pace lead for AKATU. All right, long bar over Tetris IBALL. Makes a skim and another Tetris 688, 729 for AKATU. Waiting for the bar, gets it. 756. Tetris AKATU 814. We have had another Finnish winner of Classic Tetris Monthly main events. And who can name him? But don't do it if you've been here like a million years. Do it if you haven't been around. No, it wasn't JJ. All right, who on YouTube knows who the other Finnish winner was? I'm not going to say it out loud. I want to get an answer from YouTube. 872 for IBALL, 885 for AKATU. Actually set up on the left well, one row dirty, gets it, 925. IBALL has closed the gap a little bit. All right, nobody on YouTube knows. All right, Steel CE knows. It was Yanni. That's right. 933 for AKATU, 976 for IBALL. Whoa. Arbaro with the tier 1 sub, 43 months. Thank you so much. And also, Hana with the tier 1 sub says Janutska. That is correct. Happy 2025 Math Whiz. We've also had a Canadian winner, A59. Have we had more than one Canadian winner? Think about that. Tetris AKATU A86, A66 for IBALL. We're into the 29 phase, and IBALL with a small score lead, but AKATU with some lines in hand. I'm trying to think if we've had more than one Canadian winner. Oopsie on YouTube's got it. Yep, Hana's got it. It is Ella, E flat 7. All right, C14, IBALL gets it. Tetris, C54, B37 for AKATU, trying to keep it low. IBALL trying to keep this low as well. I think IBALL feels like if he can play a game all the way to 39, he'll have a good shot. We'll see. AKATU setting up for Tetris. His long bar over to the left. I mean, the L to the left doesn't get there, but he gets a Tetris and gets a long bar over to help bring this down. Good tucks here for IBALL. Scary on 29. Gets a Tetris. D31 has about 129,000 point lead. Setting up for a Tetris. Gets it. D77. AKATU playing a great game here, has a 1.2. IBALL almost a 1.4. AKATU needs to bring this down. All right, it looks like he's going to be able to do it. That square doesn't get all the way to the left, but he set up for a Tetris and gets it. C68, and IBALL just playing clean and perfect. And just about 20 lines for AKATU until that 39. And now IBALL is up like 200, 300,000 points, and AKATU not going to be able to catch up with that. And a rollover for IBALL gets the 1.6 million, a 1.278 from AKATU. Great game from these two players, but it's IBALL who comes really roaring back on that 29. You know, it played kind of shaky on 29 those first two games, but really just went like super perfect toward the end there and just piled on points that AKATU was unable to answer, but a great game from both. All right, GG's AKATU. Thanks for playing. Hope to see you again. Always fun to see Keyboard Roller. All right, we'll be back in a moment while I report this and set up the next match. It's going to be DANV versus IBALL. Dan, are you on? You're on your alt, right? I'm assuming. Cute pup Jesus with the tier 1 sub, 6 months. Appreciate that. All right. All right, we have cartoon characters playing instead of DANV. Oh, there we go. There he is. Although DANV is kind of a cartoon character himself, isn't he? Hello. All right, what happened to my camera here? Oh, we just turned it off. That's okay. All right, I'll be back in a moment. And you can watch players warm up or whatever. I shall return. All right, let me fix up these cams. We'll give the players their pieces in the meantime. There are the pieces. There he is. Oh, IBALL quaking in his boots, having to play DANV. Oh my God. All right. There we go. Is he wearing boots? I don't think he's wearing boots. Hey, I have a question. Like, when you were growing up, everybody in the chat, I want to know this because, like, I lived in, I guess, like a house where everybody went barefoot, and a lot of people live in a house where everybody wore shoes or slippers. But in my house, we were just like dirty and barefooted. So, what was your house like growing up? Was it a barefoot house, or was it everybody wore shoes in the house, or socks? I guess. All right. Seed checker does not work with DANV. Anyway, we got pieces. It's D4, D6, 8, 4. D4, D6, 8, 4 when IBALL is ready. Barefoot summer, socks winter. IBALL barefoot. Yeah, I had like dirty, just super dirty feet. So we had like hardwood floors and I was just walking around barefoot. I just remember the bottoms of my feet were just like black like tar, you know? Like they were just super dirty. What a weird house. I see your seed. I do see it. D4, D6, 8-4. Doozy said DANV looks like K-pop idol. I can see that. I mean, he is. Of course he is. All right. This is round 2, right? Round 2. All right, we're playing round 2. That's match 11. DANV versus IBALL. The winner will face Alex T in the top 16 later in the month. Looks like both players are ready. This should be a doozy. Pardon the pun there, Doozy K. Let's get them started. Classic Tetris Monthly Masters event. Blue bracket preliminary round 2. In 3, 2, 1, Tetris. On the left side, it is DANV coming in at seed number 13. He had a qualifier of what? Of some amount. 1.355 average of 2 scores over 1 hour. He's got a PB of 3.83 million out of Great Britain, and how great it is. It's one of the greatest Britons we've got, and really one of the most united kingdoms we have. DANV is a former CTM Masters event winner. Won, I think it was our first ever Faster Masters. And looking to take home a non-Faster Masters here in our new 32-player flat bracket format. That's hard to say. On the right side, it is IBALL, seed number 20 out of Canada. Had a qualifier of 1.276 million in the average of top 2 scores. Played over an hour. IBALL really turned a corner, kind of ratcheted up his standing in the competitive Classic Tetris community last year. A couple of semifinal finishes in CTM, as well as second overall in CTWC Montreal Regional. And these players are 19 and 21 on the overall PB leaderboard. So very close in PB. And both of them have the same royalty on their money. DANV out of the UK, IBALL in Canada. 235 from IBALL, 138 for DANV. Speaking of Faster Masters, we do have Faster Masters next month with sort of an expanded or enhanced format. Previous Faster Masters were 100 lines of 19 and then 100 lines of 29. We've expanded it to 200 lines of 29. It's still going to be faster than our traditional Masters event, but with a little bit more time to sort of chase down or line out or whatever. On 29. 305 here for IBALL, 253 for DANV. DANV was vehemently opposed to the change in format. I could see the vigor with which he put his X reaction on my post when I asked for feedback. He did not like it, but too bad. 298 for DANV, 352 for IBALL. Thanks for redeeming the codes, everybody. Wing Fryer, thanks for the tier 1 sub, 20 months, says, hi, Vandy. But DANV, you know, only backed by a couple of Tetrises here from IBALL, despite really just having a jacked up board almost the entire time. Now, for some reason, I have these two. When I look in Liquipedia, I don't have any match history between these two. I don't know what's happening. If I feel like these players have played enough CTM Masters events that they would have run into each other at some points, but I don't have any match history, at least for CTM, between these two. 480 for IBALL, 343 for DANV. So you can tick these two, a match between these two off on your Tetris Matchagami checklist. It's kind of like Scoregami, but players playing against each other. 503 for IBALL, 369 for DANV. $20.25 contribution to the Matcherino from Rogue Potato Baduk. Thank you so much, Rogue Potato Baduk. We also had a contribution for 2432 from Arbaro. Says join TNP at tnp.tetris.lol. That is a real URL. $5.99 transition for IBALL here in game number 1. Now, this is I don't know. I'm trying to think if this is easier or harder for someone like Dan V. Dan has got to come in basically to this match cold. 487 transition for him, whereas IBALL has already played a match beforehand. So will be interesting to see if that is a factor. Although, then again, how would we know if it's a factor? For those of you who are in chat who play competitive Tetris regularly, do you think you do better playing cold or after having played one match? 537 for Dan V. Tetris for IBALL, 704. $758 for IBALL now, 589 Dan V. So that's about 170. 110. I can't even do math anymore. Lori H has gifted 5 memberships over on our YouTube channel. 5 memberships to the channel by Lori H. Thank you so much, Lori H. Really appreciate that. Timur, Jordan Scott, Cool Great Dragon, Edward Bareng, and LS Kongjinj. You have received memberships. Thanks again, Lori. Tetris for IBALL, 876. There's another Tetris, 906. Dan V, 731. All right, IBALL's board was getting a little bit high here. Ended up taking a double to skim off. Might have to take another one. Yes, does have to take another one. A little bit of a micro drought. Long bar over Tetris IBALL. 846 for him, 821. Dan V getting up a little bit high on the board. Kind of skim sort of ends up blocking the well. Now he's going to need something too deep to uncover that. Oh boy, and no, Dan V going to top out 826, and IBALL is good in game number 1. So I'm just waiting for, the first time somebody gets, knocked out, somebody from the 9 to 16 qualifiers gets knocked out in round 2, and then they go, this format, I don't like it anymore. Or I didn't like it to begin with. That's probably going to happen at some point. I mean, that is kind of the downside, I guess. If you finish 9 through 16, you do have to sort of end up playing a match to earn your way into the round of 16. And so that's a little bit of... It's not the best for them, but on the other hand, for those times that they do finish below the fold, it is good. New pieces here, AEBA47, AEBA47. Lori says, let's like the page and help support the channel and get it out there. I agree, Lori. Thank you. Mr. Burrow is here. All right, let's see. AEBA47. AEBA47. Both players are on seed. They are ready to go. Let's get them started. Game number 2. Eyeball up 1-0 in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Yeah, if you're watching live on YouTube, do take a moment to like the video that you're watching if you can. Assuming you like it, but even if you don't like it, just do it. Don't worry about it. I don't like that. Just like it. And we did exhaust all the contribution codes. Thank you to those of you watching live. All the claim codes are done in the first broadcast, which is kind of amazing. So thank you all for doing that. Abby Normal. I missed a contribution from Abby Normal in the amount of $15. Thank you, Abby Normal. Also, we had another one from Whoops. Another rabbit hole. Thank you for that. Box Meal says, NGL fam, Masters, Hella, Skibbity, Ohio, Phantom Tax on God Gang, lock in. So thank you, Box Meal, for that. And I think that is everybody's contributed. Arbaro, Rogue Potato, Abby Normal, Gilded Lizard, Box Meal, and Whoops. All right. There's a soundbite for you. Tetris for Dan V 165. Eyeball up high on the board, covered well. T goes to the left, uncovers long bar down Tetris. Oh my word. Or this Gen Alpha Skibbity talk in the chat. I don't know. I think it's fun. People get too upset by it. We all, when we were kids, we all talked stupid and our parents hated it and older people hated it. It's just the way it is. 220 eyeball, 237 for Dan V. Uncovers the well. Long bar open Tetris. Oh, there is a Gen Beta now. Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out a different name for that, like, quick. Nobody wants to be in Gen Beta, right? and honestly, I don't want to hear about that generation for, years and years and years. $299 eyeball, 335 for Dan V. One bar over Tetris eyeball, 324. We have mods are blocking the term Sigma and Skibbity. Oh my word. All right, floating Minos there for Dan V. Gonna bring this down. Hana says, when are we getting Skibbity Masters? Hana, why are you typing that? Imagine blocking a word and then using it. Tetris eyeball 486, 428, DANV. This commentator always talking with the chat and laughing his own jokes. 508 eyeball 451, DANV. Well, yeah, Hana didn't block it, but Hana is a mod. $554 eyeball, 6 lines away from that 19 transition. The speed will increase by 50%. One line away, eyeball, who's now in the lead by 61,000 points. Tetris for eyeball into 19 at 585. Long bar over Tetris. DANV 527. All right, DANV going to bring this down with a Tetris and another one. There's one eyeball. Eyeball right now ahead by 3 lines and 82,000 points. Ethan Tycotra says, this is the first time I've watched a CTM stream in like 4 months. Is this what they are all like? Oh man, we're disappointing Ethan here. Chat, you've got to, you got to straighten up here before we lose Ethan. Tetris DANV 686, 743 for eyeball. Long bar column 9 to get set up. It gets it. Other Tetris DANV 742. Chiller says, why is this the first stream of the year? I know. Well, there's a lot of this, Skibbity Sigma Ohio Rizzler energy pent up over the holidays, and people are letting it go now. 924 eyeball 831 for DANV. All right, a skimming a Tetris eyeball 983. Same thing for DANV 898. What a 90 something or 100,000 point lead now for eyeball. Lines are now 1 apart and they're about 80,000 apart. Eyeball 19 lines away from the 29 at transition where the speed will double. He's got the 1.1 here on 27. DANV gets the max out on 27. About 80 something thousand points behind. I didn't know mango was a thing, so I'll have to look that up. God, you guys always find new things to say. There's always something new. Eyeball into 29 at C56. DANV is in at B74. C stands for 1.2 million. B is 1.1 million. Eyeball set up for a Tetris. Taking some skims here. Tetris for Eyeball, D48. All right, DANV going to take a nice, safe triple to bring that stack down. Eyeball is just kind of going for it, D92. DANV's board starting to climb. See what he can do to bring this down. Okay, a long bar in for a dirty Tetris, kind of sneaks it in. Kind of like a, I don't know, like a running back going up through the defensive line right up the middle. That was kind of weird. And that's a top out pretty much simultaneously, but Eyeball was way ahead when it happened. So Eyeball going to take game number 2. Yeah, that was a crazy Tetris, like just going through garbage. I didn't even realize that the Tetris was hidden there. Doozy K says, me eating lunch, Lee, listening to Talk to It and drinking Prime. Oh my God, there's 2024. Leave it behind. Leave 2024 behind. Just leave it all in the past. It's over. Oh, Dan V says, I also didn't know it was a Tetris. Oh, you think she's going to get sued for the crypto thing? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I usually find ways to do it. Imagine just going for some random lady on the street being interviewed to being sued for multi-millions of dollars. All right, here are the seeds. Both players, 4B, 485E. 4B, 485E. I don't know. I don't think anyone, buys a brand new meme coin kind of thinking like, "Oh, this is a safe investment," I'm, like obviously people are just memeing here. So, I don't know. Is there like a I was just memeing defense in the court? Is that valid defense? I don't know. Doozy says, what if instead of October CTM, it was Hawktober? I don't know, Doozy. We might have to disqualify you from CTM. Ay. I think you might have to be banned. We are not doing Hawktober, that's for sure. That is 100% sure. Anyway, the pieces are 4B, 485E. When is Stupid Tetris monthly? At some point, we will do it. We also got to do a Tap Masters, but the timing on Tap Masters is tough. Like, I don't want to do it too close to Mega Masters or to CTWC, so maybe after CTWC we'll do Tap Masters. (4B 485E). All right, so let's see if Eyeball's got it. Let's see, where is it? Where's my thing? There it is. 4B 485E. Good. All right, both players are ready. Game number 3, Dan V and Eyeball. Dan V needs to win to stay in. Let's count them down in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Bent Squirrely has gifted a tier 1 sub to Doozy K. Thank you, Bent Squirrely. Yeah, I think Tap Masters will have to happen after CTWC. You don't want people practicing tapping before like the biggest tournament, right? So maybe after is all that, we'll do it then. So maybe August. Right before Jonas Cup? Well, yeah, but your tapping's not gonna... When is Jonas Cup? October? It's not right before. You've got multiple months. All right, IBALL setting up that Z spin tuck. It's for the memes. Trying to stay loose. Dan's board getting up pretty high here. Having to take some skims. All right, skimming a Tetris for DANV 167. That is skim and a Tetris, not skibbity Tetris. Doozy says, if this match ends before scheduled time of the next one and players both be ready, can we do it earlier? Yeah, sure. Just get the opponent to agree, and that's fine. It would be good though if the other opponent, like the third opponent, were ready as well, but $193 DANV 214 IBALL. We might actually run into, though, depending on how this goes, we might run into the next one. Tetris IBALL 240. There's one DANV 243. Yeah, you're playing Andre. Andre's not here. All right. Tetris IBALL 310 289 DANV. Here in game number 3. Then looking to stage a reverse sweep comeback. IBALL looking to be the first player from the early rounds to make it into the top 16 this month. DANV trying to defend his top 16 spot. Tetris IBALL 364 409 for DANV. Tetris DANV 435. There's one IBALL 413. Oh, there we go. IBALL just barely getting long bar over, and another one, and there's another one. So 482 now for IBALL. He's back by about a Tetris. If you're an Amazon Prime member, by the way, you do get a free Twitch Prime subscription that you can apply to the streamer of your choice every single month. And it's use it or lose it, so don't lose it. You don't have to use it on us, but don't lose it. But, you know, keep us in the mix. You just have to connect your Amazon and your Twitch accounts. 530 for IBALL. Scrambling up top. We're not up top, almost near the top, but kind of close to 19. I'd like to bring this down with a Tetris. DANV is into 19 already at 583. IBALL gonna transition up fairly high for 19 and just looking for something to bring it down. That gap in there could have been a problem, but gets a long bar down for a Tetris. 568 for him. Cousin Avi is gifted a tier 1 sub to Meme. Thank you so much, Cousin Avi. Abby Normal with the tier 1 sub. 49 months. Appreciate that. 642 DANV, 645 IBALL. We got a close one. DANV set up in column 8. Long bar in Tetris, already has another one set up and gets another one in column 8, 696. There's a column 10 Tetris eyeball. So just a few thousand points separating these two players. Tetris eyeball 735, 734 for DANV. Super close. DANV looking to get set up again. Kind of sets up that delayed setup there. Burns it away. Leaves him with a Tetris well, 742. T-spin eyeball, Tetris DANV. Players are gaming. Setting up Tetrises, nailing T-spins. Video gaming. Tetris eyeball 802. DANV has actually set up for a dirty one. Column 8 gets it. 815. It was like 5 or 6 rows off the bottom. Another one. DANV 847. How many seeds do we have now? Says Neto. We've got 32 seeds. If you've been watching DAS Masters, it's the same bracket format. All right, eyeball bringing this down. Uncovers that right side well. Long bar down. Tetris 920. DANV with a very small lead. Tetris eyeball. There's one. DANV back into the lead by about 7,000 points. And DANV with a good board and eyeball with a not great board as we head into the 29 phase where the speed will double. That square to the right could be a problem for eyeball as we head into 29. DANV's board needs a little attention as well. Oh no, a couple of misdrops here. Eyeball's got the max into 29. DANV fighting up high on 29 speed. Oh no, and he can't get the bar over. That's going to be a top out for DANV at A08. And eyeball is good in game number 3, and we'll be moving on to the round of 16 to face Alex T. So eyeball going to be the first player this month to benefit from the top 32 format with a bracket upset over DANV. Of course, doesn't get any easier from here. Has to face Alex T in round 3. GG's, guys. Eyeball gonna mullen it out a bit here. Working on a 1.2. There's a Tetris. He's got the 1.3. The D is 1.3. Oh, nice tuck there. Oh, no, that bar to the left, not going to do it. Going to get the 1.385. Eyeball, you will be moving on to round number 3 against Alex T. And so there's the top. That's the results. Oh, let me refresh that, actually. There it is. So that's the results of what we did. Here is the top 16, what that is going to look like. I got to refresh here. There we go. So that is our first member of our top 16. We're going to determine another one in just about 13 minutes. We will get underway. YouTube, I've got to stop your stream. You want to go to our channel and go to the other little video, how it's set up. If you want to continue watching, that'll start in 12 minutes. So YouTube, I'm going to stop both streams. So I'll be right back. Twitch, don't go anywhere. YouTube, go to the other one for today. And I guess while we're here, I will just give a thank you to those of you who have contributed this stream. And again, that was Arbaro. It says join TNP at tnp.tetris.lol. Rogue Potato Baduk, Abby Normal, Gilded Lizard, and Box Meal with the message that said, NGL fam, Masters Hellas give the Ohio Phantom tax on God Gang lock in. And whoops, another rabbit hole again. All right. So yeah, YouTube, go over to the other thing. Twitch, stick around. I'll be back in like a minute.